going on, my PGA, DFS, and golf betting fans? Thanks for joining me on my inaugural model breakdown for Fantasy Golf Bag. That's right, a new partner over here at Fantasy Golf Bag. And if you haven't heard about that announcement, well, check it out. We just put out a press release on the website. And Drew and I, well, check out our full pod talking about, well, of course, this week's Open Championship and the partnership on what we expect to bring to all of you members and fans, of course, in the coming months. So really exciting time for me here. I've been doing this for almost 7 years now, believe it or not. And I've, done my own thing there for a little while at tour level. I've been with Stochastic for the last 4 years and an opportunity to join one of my buddies, Drew Matthews, over at Fantasy Golf Bag. Now, Drew and I, again, we've been playing golf for the last 4 years together. We'll talk more about that, of course, and some fun stories that we have in the pod. But for now, let's talk about my customizable Excel model, one of the great pieces of content that I'll be bringing back that I used to do. I have also now improved it and going to be bringing it to the Fantasy Golf Bag members. You're going to be able to make your own model. Now, some of you that have been following me for a while will know that's what I have coined it in the past, and we will continue to do so now. So let's jump into this week's model and talk a little bit about how we do things. Okay, so this is going to be when you download this model from our email or the webpage onto your own computer. This is the first page that's going to come up. It's the weekly notes page. So as you can see, we are at the Open Championship, and it is at St. Andrews this week. And what I give here on this first page is some base information: the driving accuracy percentage, the driving distance, greens and regulation, if the average green size square feet is available, of course, the DFS scoring rank, which I'll talk about in just a second. Then I give a couple of course notes below. Now, the DFS scoring rank, I want to talk about that. Each week presents new conditions for scoring, as each course is very different. You could go from Kapalua Plantation course, which I have played, love that golf course, produces a ton of points. And then you can have weeks like, say, Brookline at the Country Club for the US Open that produces maybe half as many points for the winner. So what I've done is I've taken all of the stats from all of the DFS tournaments from last year and gave them a ranking. At the top is going to be about 140 points for the winner, where the bottom is going to come in somewhere around 90. And from there, we take an average of it and assign each week to that scoring, 10 being the highest scoring and 1 being the lowest scoring. And then what we do so that we can produce a projection that is relevant to the overall scoring that we expect for the week, we assign a value to that of about 75%. So let's say the winner is projected to score about 110 points for the week. We'll take 75% of that, and that'll be our base rating for our model. You'll understand that if you don't already in a little bit when I go into it. Then I give the notes from each week. For example, when I started this, I am doing this on Sunday morning, this video. We still don't have a couple of key pieces of information for some of the golfers competing this week, especially over on DraftKings, namely Aaron Wise and Luke List. Brian Harmon don't have salaries yet. They will in the next 24 hours or so. Of course, I'll update those as they come in. And also, because this is a combined event with the PGA Tour and the European Tour, there's some information and stats that I wasn't able to get for some of the players, and you can see the list of players there. Okay, now let's go into our first slide, which is the all info. This is where you can find basically everything that's important within this model, all of the ranks that come up for each of the specific categories, the average rank, and of course the odds to win and the DraftKings and FanDuel salary. Now, in the base model here, this is the one where basically you don't touch it. It stays there. The projections stay there. They don't change as you change them. But the next slide, the make your own model, this is where you can play with it. The only thing you have to change to create your own projections is in row 2, all the way across the board. Let's say that you don't believe in OWGR, you can create that 5%. And as you can see, all of those change automatically. You want to always have it measure up to 10%. So let's say that recent form is way more important to you. We'll go 25% on recent form. It'll give us a new ranking, and we will then sort it by that. And as you can see, I'm doing a video, so it'll take a little time for it to actually sort there. But nonetheless, that is how you do it. To change the model and the rankings, it'll change all the way through. It'll go all the way into all info and change that. So Again, very important there and how you can change it. Now, let's say that you don't really want to change the percentages of each of the categories, but you'd like to change some information in there. Well, for example, let's go into the betting info here. Let's say that you think Robert McIntyre has a much better shot than 66-1 to win the Open next week, which, that's probably a pretty fair assessment. You can change his actual odds to say 50, then reallocate, sorting by column B in this one, making sure that the top odds to win, so Rory McIlroy in this case at 9-1 is back at the top. You can see Robert McIntyre has moved up about 10 spots and thus has more points being allocated from the odds to the overall model. So that's one way you can change it. Also, want to just go into one more thing here before I jump on out. This is the individual strokes gained categories. So what I've done here is I've added in strokes gained, of course, from each of the 4 categories that are measured, and I've added in their corollary stats from old school statistics. Now, on typical PGA Tour weeks, I'll have about 4 or 5 additional statistics that are important for the week under each category. However, for events that are combined on the European and PGA Tour, I only count the statistics that each of the tours follow. And in this case, for strokes gained off the tee or off the tee measurements, they only measure driving accuracy and distance over on the DP World Tour instead of the mass array of other statistics that the PGA Tour has. So again, normal PGA Tour weeks, you can expect to see an additional 3 to 4 to 5 stats. On these combined weeks, probably only 1 or 2. Okay, so also give you a slide for uploading to the optimizer straight out. And if we do have Euro Tour players playing, I provide those stats as well for the year. So that is going to do it here for my first model breakdown of Fantasy Golf Bag. Thank you all for the support over the years and the continued support going forward. Drew and I's goals are vast here with Fantasy Golf Bag. It's not just going to be PGA, DFS, and golf betting content, but so much more. We're really excited to get started and really excited to continue to provide all of you top-notch fantasy golf content. So until next time, everybody, good luck this week at the Open Championship. We will see you on the other side. Also, one more thing. Make sure you all like and subscribe to our Fantasy Golf Bag channel here. This is where I'm going to be putting out all of these weekly videos that I do here for Fantasy Golf Bag. So make sure you like and subscribe. Now, the catchphrase, that's on my way out. Look forward to seeing you all on the other side, everybody. Cheers.